This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Tuesday, September 14. In Squiz Kids Today, Dylan Alcott is the GOAT. Wrapping up the Arc de Triomphe. Justin Bieber's big night out and whales in massive feeding frenzy. That's what's making news, kid style.
The lowdown.
You might have heard the expression GOAT. The four letters G-O-A-T standing for Greatest of All Time. It's a title that Australia's own Dylan Alcott can safely claim after winning the men's single quad event at the US Open in New York yesterday morning, and in so doing, becoming the first male tennis player to achieve what's called a Golden Slam. A Golden Slam is when a player wins all 4 Grand Slams in a year. That's the Australian, French, US Opens, plus Wimbledon, plus a gold medal at the Paralympics. Which is what Dylan did by beating Dutchman Niels Vink in straight sets yesterday. Taking to the microphone after his victory, Dylan made an emotional speech in which he talked about how hard it had been to grow up in a wheelchair, how he didn't like himself very much, how he hated his disability, and how sometimes he felt like getting through every day was just so hard. But then he found tennis, and he found something he was good at, and he found there was a whole world out there that he had no idea existed, and suddenly he found people just like him, and the world was just waiting to celebrate what an awesome individual he was. Now that's what we call a true champion. There's a link in today's episode notes to the winning shot and Dylan savouring a well-earned victory.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in France, in Paris to be exact, where the Arc de Triomphe, one of the most famous landmarks in the French capital, has been wrapped in shimmering silver blue fabric. The massive art and engineering project is the work of the husband and wife artists Christo and Jean-Claude, who also wrapped the German Parliament building in silver fabric in 1995, and in 1969 famously wrapped part of the Sydney coastline in grey fabric. Art experts say that wrapping enormous objects that are familiar to us makes us look at them differently, both when they're wrapped and after the fabric comes off. Yesterday, 95 people abseiled down the Arc de Triomphe, carefully arranging 25,000 square metres of material as they went. It will be on display until October 3, and there's a photo of it in your episode notes today.
Pop Culture Corner.
They're called the VMAs, and that stands for Video Music Awards. This year, they had a distinctly Aussie flavour, when the Kid Laroi opened proceedings with his best buddy Justin Bieber at a star-studded ceremony in New York City. Big winners on the night included the Biebs, who won Artist of the Year, beating Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift, and also Lil Nas X, who picked up the trophy for Best Video for his song Montero. Battling it out for Best Song was Dua Lipa, BTS and Olivia Rodrigo, and the winner was Olivia Rodrigo for her song Drivers. And when it came to Group of the Year, BTS got their own back, winning the award over Maroon 5 and the Jonas Brothers. And for the over 30s among you out there, rock legends Foo Fighters picked up the first ever MTV Global Icon Award, belting out a medley of their biggest hits, and the entire show was opened by 63-year-old Madonna, in an outfit that was a throwback to Madonna in her 1980s heyday. Rock and roll.
Animal Kingdom.
Whale watchers in Bermagui, down on the New South Wales south coast, were treated to a remarkable natural spectacle last week when up to 80 whales put on a display of bubble net feeding on a scale that marine scientists said they had only ever seen once before. Working together, the huge group of whales herded a school of fish into a circle, before taking turns to swim underneath them, blow bubbles through their spout to force the fish to the surface, then thrusting through the middle, mouth wide open and having a good old feed. It's further evidence of how intelligent whales are and how they live and work in sophisticated social groups, as well as communicate with one another with their whale calls. I stuck a link to video of the massive feeding frenzy in today's episode notes. Open it up and look on in wonder.
Q&A call out.
Alright, this is it, people. Your last day to get questions in for Masked Singer Judge and Aussie entertainment powerhouse, Dannii Minogue. She's very kindly taken time out from guessing who's behind the masks to sit down and answer any questions you might have. Whether you trot off to dance lessons every week and want to know how to make it into a job, or if you're keen to know if Dannii, who's mum to a Squiz kid of her own, is different at home to how she appears on TV, she's bravely agreed to take the hot seat and tackle any questions you care to ask. Send your questions by the end of today to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au, and then keep listening later in the week for the Q&A to drop. You're very welcome.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. What's the name of the Australian rap artist who opened the VMAs with Justin Bieber? That's right, it's the Kid Laroi. Question number 2. Name the hero Aussie tennis player who's just won a Golden Slam. Yeah, it's Dylan Alcott. Question number 3. What sort of giant marine mammals have been filmed in a feeding frenzy off the south coast of New South Wales? You got it, they're whales.
Shout outs.
It's September 13. Today is National Cream-Filled Donut Day in the United States. Why on earth we don't celebrate that holiday here is beyond me. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Axel from Broken Hill, Abby from Lebethel, Leonie from Roos, Jaden and Jeremy from Waitara, Oliver from Rouse Hill, Samuel from Petrie, Gemma from Port Macquarie, Pup from Carroll, Zoe from Wollongong, Ethan from Glen Innes, Hinata from South Guildford, Aranui from Red Bank Plains, Taylor from Ryde, Anastasia and Iris from Abbotsford, Leo from Preston, and twins Pippa and Charlie, who are listening all the way over there in Auckland. And a belated birthday shout-out goes to Izzy from Sydney. Plus, because our friends in Melbourne, Canberra and most of New South Wales are in lockdown, we're sending out home learning herograms. A home learning shout-out goes to all of the Year 4 students at Oran Park Public School. You're on the home straight towards holidays now, kids, from your Year 4 teachers. Herograms also go to Mrs. Scott in Grade 4 at Good Shepherd Primary School in Amaroo, and to Class 4G and Miss Ferrero at Our Lady of Dollars in Chatswood. Another home learning shout-out goes to Class 3A and Mrs. Ball, and Class 3D and Ms. Holt at Beau Maris North Primary School. A shout-out to Sophie, Henry and Claire from Queanbeyan. Your mum says you've all been doing awesome work in lockdown. And lastly, a herogram to the Stage 2 students in Class 3-4B at Abbotsford Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you'll want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, or you'd like to send a home learning herogram, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.